Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a tag video. I got tagged on Facebook to do 25 things. Now, I was meant to actually, reply on Facebook, but I was like, can I just do a video instead, because I don't particularly have time to type it all out. So, now I don't know if this is a YouTube thing as well, but I got tagged on Facebook, like I said, so I'm just going to, Facebook tag. Now I'm going to put the questions in the description bar. If you want to do it, then go ahead and do it. I tag everyone. Okay, let's get started. So, question number 1 is, one of your scars, how did you get it? Okay, so I have a lot of scars. The scar I'm going to talk about is on my hand. Now, I don't think if I put my hand closer to the camera, I don't think you're still going to be able to see it. It's one of those real white sort of scars that's raised up a little bit. So it's pretty much right there on my hand. And the reason I got that was I was with my best mate, Chris, and he was getting this big sort of garden statue, and it was like big cement thing. It was like humongous. So I'm putting it in the back of my car. I was sitting in the front seat, and I turned around and I was just like, wait, and I put my hand there to quickly move something out of the way, because I think I had like one of my kids' shirts there or something on the seat. So I'm like, wait. So I put my hand in there, and then he was just like clunk right on top, and oh my god, it was so painful. It was like a really dry pain, if that makes sense. So that's, I've had that for years now. So that's one of my scars. Question number 2 is, what does the last text message you sent say? Okay, so I've got my phone here. So last text message that, if I can get into it, was all good, can make something, pretty much. So I'm not getting into the whole story on that, but that's what my last text message said. Number 3 is, where were you 3 hours ago? I was in bed 3 hours ago. I was resting. I've been up since 5. Yeah, Jack woke up at 5, and then so I was up with him until about 6, and then my partner got up and was up with him until 7. So I got to lay in. So that was about 3 hours ago. Number 4 is, what colour of hair and eyes do you like most on the opposite sex? I would have to say I like men's eyes green. I just like that colour. I think I can just sort of see straight through their eyes, sort of thing. So I really like that. And I do like them with dark hair or mousy brown hair. Not particularly blonde, but that mousy brown sort of colour I think is hot. Okay, number 5 is, what's your favourite pizza topping? My favourite pizza topping is pretty much supreme. I like it all. The only thing I don't like is olives. So I always say no olives, and I add anchovies. So that's my favourite pizza topping. Number 6 is, are you double jointed? I guess I would be classed as double jointed. I don't like cracking my knuckles or anything like that. My partner does it. He cracks his neck all the time, and I hate it. Every time he does it, I just look at him like, really, you're gonna do that in front of me? But I can sort of bend my fingers this way and make them sort of, weird shapes and stuff. So I guess that's double jointed. Number 7 is, what's your favourite clothing brand? And my favourite clothing brand would have to be Chanel. I just love Chanel jackets. I love the Chanel suits. I love the cuts. I just love the style. And, Paul always teases me, and is like, oh, you love the granny wear, because he just sees that sort of look as something that his grandmother would wear. But I just love it. I'm not particularly a fan of their pants when they sort of really taper them in at the bottom. I just can't, my butt's just too big for that. I cannot get away with, this size butt and this size leg. So their pants I'm not too keen on, but I love their jackets, and so Chanel. Number 8 is, what's the longest sleep you've ever took? The longest sleep that I've ever took, I reckon, would only probably be about 10 hours. So, yeah. I love sleep, but to sleep for a long period of time all in one go, no. couldn't particularly do it. Not with kids either. And that was probably before I had children. So back when I was like 18. The next one is, do you have all of your teeth? What kind of question is that? No, I don't have all of my teeth. I'm only missing one at the back, and that's because I had to have it pulled out because there was an abscess underneath it. It had been repaired, and then a month later it got infected. So they obviously hadn't cleaned it out properly before they repaired it. So yeah, and that was really painful. That was really bad. Number 10 is, have you ever been out of your home country? No, unfortunately. I will someday once the kids are a little bit older, but no, not yet. Number 11 is, have you ever met anyone famous? I've met a few famous people. I've met sort of local celebrities, sort of as news presenters, sports presenters, things like that. I've met Boys to Men quite a few times. Who else have I met? I've met, you know, different bands. I remember there's one band called Scandalous. Unless you're Aussie, I don't think you're gonna get Scandalous. But if anybody remembers them, comment, because it was so hilarious. And I was actually really drunk when I had met them, and I was like dancing Scandalous dance. It was a mess. Who else? I've had some really good conversations with Paulie Shaw, so he's pretty cool. I like Paulie Shaw. Yeah. Number 12 is, what was your first job? My first job was a mum, really. So, yeah. Number 13 is, what's the longest you've ever stayed awake? I reckon the longest I've stayed awake is probably about 48 hours, you know, like before I had kids, if I was going out, and yeah, so yeah, about 48 hours I reckon. Just scroll down a bit. Next question, number 14 is, have you ever had surgery? Say where if you can. I have had surgery a couple of times. I've had 2 C-sections, so that's pretty much it, and that's really the only surgeries that I've had, so where I've been. I was awake for both of those. So yeah, I've never had a surgery where I've been asleep. So yeah. Number 15 is, what do you get complimented on the most? Well, I used to get complimented on my hair the most. Everywhere I went, people would say, oh my god, they would come up to me if I was in a restaurant or just, you know, out walking around shopping. People would come up to me and say, oh my god, is that your real hair? Yeah, and it was my real hair, and then I got a cut, so I don't get compliments anymore. Next question is, what's your favourite type of candy? I love candy corn. I could eat a whole bag of that in one go, hey. It's just, but then it's like eating sugar. It's very, very sickly, so, but I just love it. I just loved it. The little corn, and I just nibble on it. Yeah, if I'm eating candy corn, just leave me be. Number 17 is, have you ever really and truly had a best friend? Yes, I have. I have 2 best friends in my life that I've had for years, and they will continue to be my best mates forever. If we don't see each other for months, sometimes years, because one of my best mates, who actually tagged me in this tag, lives in a different state, so we go long periods of time without physically seeing each other, but as soon as we see each other, I don't know, it's just like nothing. It's like we've seen each other yesterday, so yeah, and I can trust them and tell them anything. Number 18 is, if you could choose your gender, age and race, what would you be like? I would probably still want to be a woman. I would forever be 25. That would be fabulous. And race, I don't know, I've never really thought of that. I would like to have sort of darker skin. Yeah, that's a hard one to answer for me, because I would just like to have, I would like to be tall, really skinny, sort of, you know, a beautiful bronze colour. Yeah, beautiful. Number 19 is, can you dance? Yeah, I can dance. I used to get down. Not so much. I'm bigger now, so I find it very hard to dance. And sometimes I like try to dance, and I'm just like, whoa, I'm not who I used to be. Like, why is this difficult? And it's because I'm overweight. But yeah, I can dance. I can shake it. Number 20 is, what's your favourite type of food? Oh, Chinese. I love Chinese food. So. Number 21 is, do you play any musical instruments? I used to play keyboard. I've done a bit of guitar, and I don't really play musical instruments anymore. Recorder, you know, things like that. I think the only musical instrument that I use now would be my voice. I sing on a daily basis. I'm just constantly singing, so that's something that I use all the time. Number 22 is relationships or one night stands. Relationships. Number 23 is, what was the last thing you bought? I think the last thing I bought was, last night I think I bought some stuff from Elf. So some foundations and stuff like that. So yeah, that was the last thing I bought. Number 24 is, do you read? What books are you reading right now? Or book are you reading right now? I do read. And the book that I'm reading now is, I can't remember the name of it. It's the Taylor Armstrong book. And yeah, I really can't remember the name of it, so I'll put a little thing here on the name. And I watch Housewives. I love the Beverly Hills Housewives, so yeah, I wanted to read that book. Number 25 and the last one is, describe your love life. If brackets, if you have any. Yeah, I've got a love life and I'm not complaining. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the 25 things tag on Facebook. So thanks for tagging me, Clancy. I do love my tag videos, what can I say? And yeah, I tag everybody to do it. All the questions are in the description bar. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.